Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence.
Why are you our host for the next couple of hours?
I don't know. I just feel like it.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You just need to explain why.
Because I'm sitting here at the mixer, at the cameras, and everything.
That's a good answer.
And Nick is here.
Good morning.
And Mike is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And
Oh,
Gal.
wow.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. The whole crew's here. Wow. Nice.
Been a while.
And I wanted to say something about my
Uh-oh.
absences lately and why. I
What?
had an illness in the family and went on for over a year. My sister just recently passed away from cancer. And the lesson from this whole thing, and I'm sorry I have been around, it's just that I was the closest.
You
to-
got your priorities straight.
I was the closest to. She lived in Atlanta, and I was the closest one. We have family all over the East Coast. I'm the furthest south to them, so I spent a lot of time there. But she died from colon cancer, and whether or not it was preventable that's not the story here. But if you are 50 years old or older, and you have not gotten on a regular schedule for colon cancer screening, please do it.
Yep.
Please do it.
Colonoscopy.
Yes. It's not as unpleasant as it used to be.
Nah.
And now I understand there's some new genetic and drug screening that they can do too. That's great. I mean, if it really works, if it really gives you but if you have it in your family, and I have it, not just my sister, but an uncle, you best,
It's
get yourself checked out.
I think the doctors are going to milk the traditional colonoscopy until as long as they can. Let's put it this way, because it's been a few years and they've been talking about that there is a pill that you swallow and it has in it, it's like a camera and everything in it, and it goes down and you can see the whole colon tract. And it's reusable. I mean, you poop it and you give it back to the doctor.
I don't want to know about where it's been. Oh, here, take this. Is this new? We're not allowed to disclose that.
So it will be a lot easier that way.
Yes. Well, there's even commercials now on television about a drug screening, blood test.
Oh.
But I shouldn't say a drug screen. It's a blood test you can get that is a screening test that identifies. Now, if it says if it's 95% accurate, do you want to risk the 95%? The 5% inaccurate,
Right.
Because there's nothing better than eyeballs with photographic evidence.
Yep.
Well, Spence, clearly you haven't been checking the specials because Staples actually got the colon camera on sale this week for just $14.99 on sale at Staples.
Is it the recondition?
It's a
Yeah.
DIY one.
You got to buy the SD cards. Yeah, it's a Raspberry Pi, actually. You swallow the Raspberry Pi. You got to buy the SD card separately, though. So,
Oh, and how do you retrieve this after it's used?
Amnon's an expert in it, from what I understand. So he can answer all your questions.
Yeah, and it's all up to date. I mean, now you can run Windows 10 on the Raspberry Pi, so you can do it. You can really, I mean, it's accurate.
Windows Update mid-track, that'll be useful.
If the camera runs on Windows 10, what happens if it goes through an update on its way through?
Yeah, there's your 95%. Hope it works.
All right. So what happened this week that was nothing really big that I can think of?
You mentioned the Raspberry Pi thing.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but not many people do that. I mean, I don't. I mean, you have one, right?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them.
Yeah.
The real advantage of this would not be to use Windows 10 use it as a full Windows OS, but the real advantage here is people might be familiar with Wine, which is a method of running Windows programs inside of a Linux operating system,
Mm-hmm.
and that works well. There's plenty of programs that run well inside of Wine, but there are programs that don't run well inside of Wine, specifically things that require the video. Oh God, I can't remember the video drivers that Windows has got.
I don't know.
Come on, somebody help me out. What is the DirectX is what it is. DirectX 9, DirectX 11. Those don't run. That doesn't. There's an issue with Wine and some DirectX stuff. At least there used to be. So this could be kind of a cool way to, if you need to run a specific program on a form factor like a Raspberry Pi, you can now do that because it's ARM. They released Windows 10 ARM to run on the Lumia phones. And the Raspberry Pi runs on ARM, so pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into the little things like the Raspberry Pi, there are a lot of things that are happening. There's actually a users group locally that all they talk about is what's new with the Raspberry Pi and what you can do with it and all that. And when that comes to that and it keeps going and going, that means that it's very valid. Very valid.
Yeah, there's lots of cool uses, and it looks like some guy has built a GitHub project called Windows on ARM, and it's a full installer. So you select your drive and you select the image, and apparently it deals with the drivers and UEFI BIOS and some other things. If you search WOA project on GitHub, you can find it. It's made by a guy named Super JMN is the user. So pretty cool. I'll have to try it out.
So another thing that kind of grabbed my attention, and Mike mentioned it also in our hangout, was Amazon and taxes. So the story here, but the fact that they hardly pay, they don't pay taxes, federal taxes. But the other story is, as expected, Amazon said on Thursday that it was canceling plans to build a corporate campus in New York City. The company had planned to build a sprawling complex in Long City Island, in Queens, in exchange for nearly $3 billion in state and city incentives. But the deal had run into fierce opposition from local lawmakers who criticized providing subsidies to one of the world's richest company. Amazon said the deal would have been created more than 25,000 jobs. I mean, 25,000 more people or families in New York is a drop in the bucket, right? But
They had an average salary of $150,000.
what do you mean?
The salaries, the jobs, the 50,000 jobs, the average salary, it was either 120 or 150. And Ocasio-Cortez went out demonstrating against it and bragging about how she kept that garbage out of New York.
In her district.
Yeah, I
get
mean,
it.
Yeah,
it's
in
Are
her
you-
district.
unbelievable that I mean everybody was fighting for this, and
Well,
yeah, we're always bitching about traffic and more people and rush hour and all that. But it's one way or another it's going to come. Either it's going to come at a boom, at one kind of big additions, or it's going to come in slower. But it's coming because these companies want to be in these cities anyway. And every company wants to be at the Research Triangle Park.
but the bigger story, though, is the overall effect of mass migration from these high tax states.
Yeah.
And even before the Amazon story broke, Governor Cuomo was blaming other people for the New York shortfall in tax revenue. And it's like, does that part of your brain just not work? You know,
I mean, I look at it.
people leaving because Bloomberg actually had it right. Unbelievably, when he was mayor of New York, he said, I can't raise taxes on the wealthy people because there's like 15,000 people that pay 60% of the city's budget in taxes. I can't, they'll leave. I said, I won't have any money left. And so the reality, I mean, these are people that have gotten to the Margaret Thatcher theorem played out. It's like socialism works until you run out of other people's money. And it's just, they're in denial, this whole thing, that there's somehow this printing machine of money that they should have, or have access to tax money. It's crazy. There was I think it was Judicial Watch just put out a great short chart that shows the top states that are gaining population and the top states that are losing
Mhm.
population. And we're either number 4 or 5 top states gaining. And
We
it's
need to change that.
500,000 people a year were increasing from migration from other states.
51% of the people in California are trying to get out.
And it's the reason they can't get out is because they can't afford to leave.
Now,
They can't afford to stay either. But
Well, I did some political research this week, and I need to defend Ocasio-Cortez a little bit. She did propose $4 trillion in new spending, but she came up with $200 billion in tax increases to pay for it.
it's startling.
well.
You can confront them with the statistic. It says if you confiscated all of the wealth of the top 1% or whatever it is in the whole country, you would fund the government for what, 3 months?
4.
4 months. Okay, that was awful, but
I mean, this is just amazing that these are the reasons, to provide it. Which big company move to any new place and it's not a rich company? All these companies are rich companies. And Apple wants to go somewhere. So is Apple a poor company that you give them? Dell. All these companies that are coming some, it seems like they're forgetting the fact that you give the company an incentive. The people who are going to work there are going to be paying taxes. And just imagine 25,000 people, how much taxes this will generate. And true, not everybody is going to be somebody who did not work somewhere else. But like Mike said, if salaries are that high. That's a lot of money in taxes.
There are some, and I have to say that I hesitate in saying there are some actual legitimate pushback to this, because if you look at what happened to, excuse me, San Francisco, with the buses now that go back and forth to Silicon Valley from the high rent districts of San Francisco, and what it's done to that city. There
But-
are legitimate reasons why you may not want to have a large company so close. They've taken San Francisco over with now the rents have gone crazy. The prices, the values of houses were ridiculous already and are even worse. And you've
But-
got all these people, all these suburban tech people living in the city, and they get bussed out every day to go to work and come back on special private buses from Google. Just one company that does this. There's others too.
Spence,
And it's gentrified these neighborhoods where you might have been able to at one point survive there, or if you lived there a long time. They're pushing all the people, middle income people out, gone. So what do you have left? You have the very wealthy and the homeless.
but Spence, you're forgetting one thing. If Amazon really want to move to where they were going to, they can do it. It's not going to change anything. The only thing is they're not going to have these incentives.
Oh, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to make a point to say that they were wrong to leave. I don't care what they do. But the point is, though, that there is damage from to a metropolitan area when a company does come into the area. We were on the list in Raleigh for both
Yeah.
Apple and Amazon. I was terrified. I didn't want them coming here, to be honest, because I saw what would happen to downtown if they picked that spot, or the Cary campus that was rumored to be the Apple site. It's already so bad here. Traffic now. I can't get out of my house in the morning or get into my neighborhood in the afternoon anymore.
Well, so then maybe what she did was good.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm saying I think it was a good thing, but I understand when people say why they oppose it. I think from an economic perspective, from a tax perspective of the city, is a great idea. They need the income. Does that mean they're going to use it right? The track record isn't very good.
You know,
So
there definitely
what-
seems to be two conversations with this. One is
yeah.
of people saying, "Oh, look, she ruined the deal." Then other people, the other thing as well, people in Queens City really didn't want Amazon there anyway. So
Well, think about what some small town in the Midwest that lost all their manufacturing jobs would do if Amazon decided to move there.
yeah, true.
Now that would be everybody would applaud that, but it's not a hip place to be. So why would they?
Well,
how
a
could
little
they attract-
town in the Midwest can't offer the incentives that New York State was willing to
No,
offer
they can't.
either,
They
which is
can't.
part of
And
it.
I think
Well-
it's just disingenuous for them to offer over $3 billion of incentives. Did you, Gal? I'm sorry. Just one last point about AOC and what she said. She came out and said, "Well, the money that we were going to give them for tax incentives, we can spend that on something else." And it's like, you don't understand. A tax incentive is not money in the bank. A tax incentive is what we won't charge you.
right.
So this is an economics major with a degree in economics. Come on. Oh,
The
sorry,
whole-
Gal. Sorry,
No,
Gal.
the whole backfire here, right, is a political backfire, and the reason is the reason for the hunt itself, right? You're saying, hey, Raleigh was on the list. Raleigh was on the list not because they wanted to come here, is because they wanted to negotiate with other locations and push.
Oh, I
down.
know. That's
Right.
what Amazon's goal was. Sure.
So that's why the backfire, right? What I'm surprised is that is one, the economics major, as you said, they didn't read it while the deal was on, right? And two is you're saying Amazon might move to some other location. No, they were set on that location from the first. And notice that the whole press release is about they're not building their New York. It's not like we're moving to somewhere else. So I'm guessing this story is not finished yet. This is all like,
Oh, it's all maneuvering.
yeah, it's all maneuvering, and we haven't heard the last of
Yeah.
it. That's all.
Oh,
It's all
Oh, yeah.
speculation at this point.
You're right that we were never where Apple or Amazon was going to go. We were just a bargaining chip for
I
them
think-
to, yeah.
I think the most interesting bit of information that we need to look for is whether Amazon or Apple or any large company is hiring someone high up the chain in the triangle area, right? Then we might know that something's coming our way.
yeah.
Somehow it's all about the people at the end.
It's the thing is that it makes no sense whatsoever that a city like New York will, with the way the taxes are and the way the money budget, that you would turn that's we don't know that if they gave it to them that they would stay either, that they would actually come. I mean, this could have been another elaborate scheme just to, maybe they want to go somewhere else.
Oh, there's a lot of people in New York City government that quietly on the side made money on speculating on property, yet knew this was coming. That Long Island City area is not exactly the nicest area. It's an area that's ready for what they call gentrification again. It was mostly an industrial area, and it was like here's the next place that we can come in and buy cheap and develop, and it'll be worth a fortune. So they knew this was coming. This was all part of an elaborate how these development projects work. Somebody makes a ton of money speculating on their property. There were rumors here in Raleigh that people were buying up property around the areas where they thought Amazon or Apple was going to go. So they were teasing real estate people, because I got an inside scoop from somebody that's in commercial real estate saying, rumor is Apple's buying this tract of land and they're negotiating for it. So why would someone put that out there unless they were looking to raise values and take advantage of it?
Yeah, that's another thing, right?
Oh well.
Oh well.
Amnon, they're
Hey.
looking for your property now.
Yeah,
I think
right.
you should
Yeah.
hold out.
Let's see what else is going on. I mean, if you guys have anything you want to talk about, bring it up. It's fine.
Oh, the Facebook
Oh,
single sign-on phishing scam.
go ahead.
That this was I knew about this. I knew that this was happening, but apparently there's a one that's had a lot of impact. And a single sign-on scam is when you go to a website and it says, "Oh, you don't have to create a login. Why don't you just log in using your Google ID, your Facebook ID, or whatever?" And it's an easy way for you to log into a site. You see this all the time, and I never, ever, ever do this. As easy as it makes it, it's not a good thing. And now we find out why, because there was a specific site that had a pop-up that looked just like a complete copy of the Facebook single sign-on to sign into a website. And what have they now captured? Your username and password for Facebook. You wonder how they get these large, not without stealing a database. How do they get this information? This is how they do it. Now, I don't know if once you logged in, whether there would be any indication. You would never know, really, because the site you logged into is you wanted to go there, right? And so now you're in.
Oh,
So one of the sites is called mykey.com. So don't use mykey.com.
Mikey.
M-Y-K-I.
Mikey. It's Mikey.
Yep.
He likes it.
That's right. Ask Mikey.
I didn't keep that. There was something else about. Oh no! Wait a second. Oh, talk about phishing. and you think you're clear with Apple stuff. So it's this could have been something that's from 10, 15 years ago, talking about Windows. Pirates use Apple's enterprise developer certificates to put out hacked version of some major apps. Illicit software distributors such as Tutu Panda Helper, App Valley, and Tweakbox have found ways to use digital certificates to get access to a program Apple introduced to let corporations distribute business apps to their employees without going through Apple tightly controlled App Store. The what? Somebody said something? Oh. So they figured out how to get in, and that's what they used to do on the Windows part. And there was another one about Apple that I don't remember. No, I don't have it. No, but it's just like it's years ago with Windows. It's beginning to sound like, well, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, just like it did with Windows. I think it started with Windows 2000. Or it was in 98. There wasn't that much back then as far as viruses, but you heard about it again and again and again, and people were just getting worried, and the Apple people, we got nothing to worry about. Yeah. Don't be fooled. You got a lot to worry about. So,
Well, you saw Amnon. Did you look at the specials yet?
not really.
Well, the front page, there's a new Apple product that's very susceptible to, it's not a phishing scam. It's what they call a flushing scam. And we'll talk about that later.
Okay. I mean, there's all kind of things that, I mean, if you have a Mac or an iPhone or any type of an Apple device, don't really don't feel like you are in the clear when it comes to viruses, Trojans, phishing scams. They're coming after you. They've been doing it for a while, but it's more and more now. And the more they find that, it seems like these communities of hackers, when the more they find that others are doing it and making money, the more they're going to quote unquote develop to make money from the Apple community. At this point, the Apple community is a lot better target than the Windows community, because Windows community is already used to this and know what programs to put in there in order to stop it or to slow it down or whatever. Most
Sam,
Apple users, yeah.
You're yelling into a vacuum.
Well, I mean, we have to, because that's the only way we're going to educate them.
It's not our duty to educate them.
What'd you say, Mike?
It's not our duty to educate them. If they want to be,
Well, that's what
trusting,
we
let 'em
have
be
the show.
trusting.
No, but that's why we have the show. We need to help them. And I'd like to, if I can help a few of them realize it's I'm happy.
Well, you say you want to help them, and that's fine, but they say you're stupid.
Oh, that's fine. I can take that. The few of them that will heed the
All right, then
warning.
let's talk about chemtrails.
I had a picture I took of the 3 times a year I play golf. One day I'm out there playing golf, and there was a chemtrails. It made like 7 different lines all intersected in one place, and I took a picture of it and I put it out on Facebook, and people were like, "Oh my God, there's chemtrails are being poisoned!" Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh, well, they've done experiments in subways where they've released gases to see how it would work if you had a chemical attack and all that.
Yeah,
Who knows
I
what
mean,
they're
and
doing?
the open skies, that's a perfect parallel to a closed-in tube that's got a train in it. Exactly a valid test, wouldn't you suggest?
Well,
I'm in a discussion with a kook on Facebook over chemtrails. This moron posted a picture of a Photoshop picture of a bunch of pilots carrying placards
I
demonstrating
see.
over chemtrails.
Yeah, that was
And
great. I like that.
and I found and posted the original picture it came from, and he said, "Oh, this is just trying to hide the truth. You're not willing to listen to the truth." I said, "Yeah, you got a point." I said, "I'm actually a chemtrail pilot. I don't want in fact, my sign, the one that I posted, is actually a Photoshop version of the one you posted."
well, Alfredo.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Is your show still on? Because I know there's a delay with what I see on.
What delay? I mean, you're on the air.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I had a question actually about your company or in services.
You mean Delta Force?
Yes.
Not the right
yes,
time. We're in the middle of the show.
Oh, okay.
That's not a good time to do that.
Oh, my apologies. But I did had a question that directly with the Ku Klux Klan member that he was getting. He was discussing. What was the end of the conversation after the?
What would be the end of the conversation?
Yeah.
Of what? I'm sorry.
Amnon, hang up.
No, that's Alfredo.
Yes, he's talking about the KKK. What conversations have we had
Alfredo,
about the KKK
we are not
this
talking
morning?
about KKK. Oh, I thought I said no. He's not talking about that. What?
No. There was a conversation that.
Where,
Must be a
Alfredo?
show that you streamed earlier.
I don't. Did we ever talk about KKK?
Not on this
No,
show.
there was a conversation that you guys were, that one of your guests were saying that he was having. I was listening to that when I started.
Okay, I mean, if it was one of the other shows, then I don't know which one it is, but it's not on Computers 2K now, Alfredo.
Okay.
No. I mean, you can go on the on demand and find out which show it was, and I'll try and explain. But no, you were looking at reruns from
Yeah,
before.
that must have been something about the governor of Virginia.
Oh, that's a
Yeah, these. I mean, unless we're live, it's reruns, and it'll say on the upper left, like if you're looking at it now, it says
in the upper left. It says it's live.
right now it says live, but when
Yeah.
when it's the reruns on the right side, it says pre-recorded.
Right. Yeah. It says live. I don't see the pre-recorded sign.
Yeah, right now it does. When we are live, it's live. If we're not live, it's pre-recorded. All right. Okay.
Anyway, there's no KKK discussion here.
No, absolutely not.
Why,
And besides, you're
Y2K maybe, but not KKK.
You're a technical guy. What are you getting into this anyway? All right.
The tech is always a struggle for me because I don't have the.
Alfredo, you need to be right now at church streaming it.
Yes, sir.
You're not doing it. Who's streaming?
Well, I'm preparing for it right now.
Okay.
That I thought I was calling in to add to the conversation, but I
no.
apparently
If you want if you want to talk to me during the week or, outside of a show, then, and you want to use Skype, then it's amnon.nissan.
Okay.
And I'll add you after the show and we can talk. Okay?
Okay. My apologies for the interruption.
No, it's okay.
gentlemen.
It's fine, Alfredo. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Yeah, that's interesting. The truth is, I don't remember anything about.
Sounds like you need to put in some headphones, Amnon.
I do.
You can't hear the caller.
I know. I mean, but it's.
Didn't even hear what he said.
Yeah, I know. I thought I heard it, and I said no, he wouldn't. I mean, because I know him. He's a technical guy. He's in the streaming stuff, and I'm saying no, he's not talking about that. What was he talking? Anyway.
Well, now we do have the episode where we talk about KKK.
Yeah, make sure you make that the title.
Yeah, now we do have an episode where we discussed it. Yep.
Nick,
Yes,
your political career has just been ruined. So
it's fine with me.
Why? Because he said hang up?
no, because it said KKK. Just
Eh.
because there's a recording of him saying it. That's all.
Good. Publish it. Have somebody come after me. That'll be great.
That'll
We
qualify.
need to
Nick
create,
for
Nick,
Virginia.
we're going to create a meme, a loop meme of you.
Go for it. Solve a whole bunch of my problems.
Spence, I think we need to sell that as a ringtone. You remember those that business model? Selling everything as
Ringtone?
You still have to buy ringtones on the Apple store. Can't sideload your own ringtones.
I still have a disc that I bought. I don't remember how. I must have ordered it from somewhere, but it was a CD of ringtones and tools for working with phones. What was the BitPim? Do you remember BitPim? That was the application you would run
BitPim,
to connect to
Yes.
a traditional like flip phones and such, and
Yep.
you could download and upload pictures and all that. And I still have that disc with all those ringtones on it, and they were all just like barely digital versions of popular songs at the time.
All right. Oh, there's Alfredo again. Yes, Alfredo.
Yeah, this is Gene.
Gene,
Yeah,
Hello,
I'm
Gene.
calling in. Is that not?
we're here. We hear you.
Alfredo.
Okay.
I'm not.
It
It's not.
doesn't
No,
sound.
it's Gene.
Yes.
Oh, it just yeah, that's not Alfredo. That's somebody here. Gene.
It's Gene.
It said Alfredo in Skype. Now it says the phone number.
I didn't call you on Skype. And I swear I'm not going to talk about the
Where-
Ku Klux Klan.
Where are you?
I'm home.
Oh, okay. So why is it
I'm also on the chat.
okay?
I wanted to ask your opinion, you guys' opinion of a process that I went through to protect passwords and, have them at my, so I can get at them in a hurry. What I did, and see what you think of this, is I put all my passwords and my IDs on Excel worksheet. And then in Windows Explorer, I took that Excel worksheet file and I encrypted it, or I protected it with a strong password. Then I installed a program called AxeCrypt. And AxeCrypt also encrypts and has another strong password for you to open a file. So I put that file in AxeCrypt as well. So now, if I want to get at that file, I have to open AxeCrypt and put in the strong password that I set up for that. And then the Excel worksheet still will not open up. It'll open up, but it will ask me for the password that I put in Windows Explorer. All right, now I've got that list and I've printed it and I keep it, somewhere where it's safe. But when I go on trips and stuff like that, I can take it with me if I don't have a computer. What do you think of that process? You see any holes in that?
Well,
The only one would be your physical copy.
I
But
can
that might be
make
a
a physical
safe.
copy anytime I want.
I do something similar. I have an a password protected encrypted Excel spreadsheet that I have locked up, that I use as a reference. Every so often I'll go through and I'll update it and I'll, make revisions to it. And I also use a password manager. I'm kind of in flux now as to which one I really like. But I only use it on machines that never leave the house. I have a laptop that I take with me on business or on trips, and I don't have it loaded on there.
Yeah, I do
But
the same thing.
I think the best thing you can do is just stay vigilant and keep it updated and make sure that make sure that the password that you do, there's nothing in the clear, and that you keep I have such complicated passwords now. Amnon used to shame me with the stuff he'd come up with, which was like looking at a coded message, which is like an unrecognizable stream of characters. And I'm almost at that point now where I have very, very strong passwords that I can't remember. I used to use music lyrics, like the different characters from a song that I know that I could create a password from so I could remember it. And I don't even do that anymore.
Gal,
understand.
you were going to say something.
Yeah. So let's start with a question. I mean, first of all, as part of holes in this, right? Your only problem is that when you're opening from the ACK script, you're already extracting it, and you always need to type in those two passwords. So unless those two passwords are really, really complex, then you'll only be safe if they're really, really complex. The problem with that is that it probably takes you a lot of time to open it. So my guess is when you work with that spreadsheet, it's open most of the day.
No, I don't really use it that much, to tell you the truth. But I don't, as far as having to be too much work, that's not a problem to me. I mean, I don't mind putting in the two passwords when I want to, and I do keep it up to date, as Spence said. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm not complaining about having to type in the two strong passwords when I want that file open.
Okay. Now, I don't personally know ActScript, so what about being mobile? Does that provide you that option?
I didn't check into that because I probably wouldn't use it, but I didn't check into that. I don't know whether ActScript supports. I think they do. I think they had a list of Windows, Mac, mobile, or whatever have you. The reason I use ActScript, by the way, is because it's got a free version. Yeah.
I understand what it is. It seems like there used to be also an application called TrueCrypt. I think it's something similar. So now a question of usability. Is there a reason not to use a password manager that you can run on your machine? Like, is that something that you're against?
With, 1Password, and it's so darn complex, I just didn't bother with it. So I wanted something that, and kind of came up with this myself, so it's not complex to me.
Well, I can understand 1Password being a bit overdaunting. Have you looked into KeePass?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so I would suggest before you commit to this process as being the only process for you, check out KeePass. It is, usability-wise, it is very like what you're doing, right? But you'll have a dedicated application where you can see all of your users and passwords in some very easy to use structure. The benefit that you'll get is KeePass knows to lock itself after a certain time of use. So let's say you've opened KeePass. It's a process that runs on your machine. It's an application, and it can also run on your phone if you need. But once it's open, you punch in the password to open it. it'll stay open for a limited time that you set. If you copy paste a password from it, right, then it clears out the clipboard after 10, 12 seconds or any other time that you set. So everything that you have in memory is going to be cleared out as fast as possible. And that's on the very, very basic level of using it. So I think while your solution works, and I guess it works for you, right? You came up with it and you're comfortable with it. The main problem is probably copy pasting the passwords. Those live in memory, and KeePass can be a bit better there. And I think you'll also appreciate the way it works. It'll give you a bit more control, and it'll be easier to manage.
Okay, two things. One is KeePass got a free version?
Yeah, KeePass is completely open source. There's actually a few implementations of it. I can take a look right after you'll be off the phone, and I'll paste the link for the one that I would recommend. I would look for something that has a very there are a few interfaces. So I would look for something that has a clean interface and that has a very similar interface when it comes to mobile. So there are a few of those, and that'll make it. If you're a bit more experimental, I think people here have heard me recommending this again and again. I would recommend looking at Bitwarden. But Bitwarden means that you are hosting your encrypted file, but you're hosting it away. You can also host it in-house, but that becomes more complex. That's why I'm not starting there. I would say KeePass is where you want to start.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. You talk about copying and pasting massive passwords. I never do that. I never copy and paste a massive, even though it's a strong one. I can remember them, so I don't use copy and paste generally for those passwords.
Yeah, wasn't there an exploit not too long ago where what was copied into the clipboard could be retrieved even with a machine that had been gone to lockdown mode? I don't know if it was Windows 10, it might have been Windows 7, but there was a way to go into somebody's locked desktop and actually show the last thing that was saved in the clipboard.
Yeah, so that's why KeePass it would be a good solution, because it clears the clipboard after a few seconds that it copied content from it. So let's say I want to log into Facebook, right? I go to Facebook, I open KeePass, I double click the username there, copy it over, and then I double click the password, copy it over. It counts. There's actually a bar that counts at the bottom, and about 12 seconds after that, it clears the clipboard. So it makes sure that the clipboard never stays with the secure content that you copied from it. It's a simple trick, right? It's not very. If there's anything that is listening on the clipboard, then that's not the solution. The solution would be to actually install some browser extension that enters it directly from the vault, but that starts to become technical and complex, and I feel that for a newcomer to a password vault, that's a put off, right? So I would recommend using something that makes it simple at the first, make yourself comfortable. And one thing I have a concern, Gene, you said you can remember the password that you're looking at and you copy. There's a mix here, right? Passwords, they should be hard to break. And to be hard to break, they need to be long. The most important aspect of a password, it needs to be long. The second important aspect is it should have as little as possible dictionary words, right? So the words, they need to be the words that you use. So a phrase would be an excellent password, a long phrase, but at least one of these words should be a bit skewed. But the longer it is, the better it is.
Mhm.
All right, a complete phrase. If you speak a second language, right? For us, I don't know if I'm not doing it, but I can tell you, for me, a
I
Hebrew
don't.
speaker,
Yeah.
my keyboards are in the US. They're all English. They don't have any Hebrew on it, so I don't use the Hebrew characters, but I use English transliteration of Hebrew words. Okay, it's not foolproof, but for long passwords, it makes me a bit more comfortable with what I have. I remember it in a certain way. I write it in a different way.
Right.
And so, right. So those are simple tricks. But yeah. So copy pasting, I would recommend some sort of automatic entrance, right? And if you're not comfortable with copy pasting, that's okay. But I would still recommend KeePass as a storage. It has a very strong encryption, and it'll be comfortable for you to use, and it'll still be safe.
Okay, another question I have on KeePass. Can I
Yeah.
encrypt other files? Because, with AppScript, I can put any file I want.
Right. So, yeah, you can attach files to a record. So let's say you have a Social Security entry, right? And you want to put in a scan of the Social Security card. You can attach it to that entry. Whether it's easy, comfortable to do, I don't know. I haven't tried.
Okay.
So the problem is that Alexa has learned to interpret with an algorithm each of your key clicks on your keyboard. So all they have to do is hear that. So I would recommend, Gene, that you get a Sanskrit keyboard.
Describe that to me a little bit. What do you mean? Hey, Spence, let me tell you something. You need a shave.
Yeah, I know. I decided that I had enough for a while and just got lazy.
Alfredo said something in the chat about Excel, that it's the worst format to keep password in Excel. In Excel, you can put a password on the file, and there are utilities, online utilities. You don't even need to
break the password. Yeah.
It doesn't. Well, I don't know about breaking the password, but the service for free will read you the first half page or the first page of that spreadsheet just to show you, yeah, we can do it. Now you have to pay in order to get it. I mean, this has been a few years ago, and I was, I was what the, anybody, the password is worthless. Anybody can. So they may get 20 or 30 or 40 of your passwords for free if they come up with your locked file.
So the first page, the first page of your spreadsheet needs to be junk.
Well, you could. I mean, but at that point, come on. It's. I agree. It's not a way to keep it.
What I can't understand is, you use Excel for any kind of information. So how does it know that what I got in there is passwords? How do they know it isn't just something like I don't know, a business invoice or something like that? I mean, it could be put any kind of a file in Excel. How do they know I've got passwords? And if I don't say, if I call a file something like list, as an example, how the hell do they know what's in there if it's encrypted twice?
Yeah,
I mean, that's actually a really good point he's making. I mean, if you are securing I mean, there's plenty of people that are still on I know it's not the right way, but store passwords in a notepad file, unencrypted, unpassword protected. I mean, there is something to not having the file name be passwords.txt in your documents. There's definitely something to that.
You need to label it oil filters. So people will think it's your list of oil filters for your car.
Part,
Yeah, man, you know,
part numbers, yeah.
There's definitely methods of you
Yeah.
know, putting things in folders and whatnot to.
Sure.
But that's more the social engineering aspect of the password management than anything else. But it's still that. I mean, there's definitely some legitimacy to that.
Yeah.
I'll probably call that.
Go ahead.
That's suspense.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to try to. I'll take a look at that KeyPass. Nice talking to you. I'll be on the chat.
All right.
See you later,
Take care.
Oh,
Um,
you were gonna let me forget.
What?
We need to talk quickly about Plex and Roku. We meant to talk about this
write
last
it
week.
write it
Right.
down, but write it down because I have a story here that
Oh.
about passwords.
Well, fine. If your story is more important, that's fine. Then we'll do your story.
Hashcat, an open source password recovery tool, can now crack an 8-character Windows NTLM password hash in less than 2.5 hours.
Hot dog. Look at that.
Current password cracking benchmarks show that the minimum 8-character password, no matter how complex, can be cracked in less than 2.5 hours. Now, yes, you need special hardware. Using hardware rig that utilizes 8 NVIDIA GTX 2080 Ti GPUs.
Oh,
Explains a hacker who goes by the pseudonym Tinker on Twitter in a DM conversation with the Register. And he says, the 8-character password is dead. And it's true. That's what Gal was saying. The longer, the better. Because they can break. I mean, you know, so if somebody wants it, maybe they don't need it in 2.5 hours. Maybe they can do it in 2 days. But if they want your password, if somebody wants to go after you and get your password, somehow they'll figure out something.
So if you have the Gettysburg Address handy on your notepad, you just
Then that's
cut
the
and paste- cut
password.
and paste it
Right.
in.
That's very good. Nick,
yes.
go ahead and talk about what you wanted to talk, and then we're going to do specials.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot about this last week, and then I almost forgot about it again. So recently, Plex, the media server, has updated their Roku app, and well, not just the Roku app. They have gotten rid of, or are in the process of getting rid of, their official plugin store, I think is what they call it, something like that. So they've recently updated the Roku app. Now, because Plex is open source, just because they're getting rid of the official marketplace or whatever for these plugins, they still exist. They're still popular, and there's still plenty of people that use them. But recently they got rid of their they did an update to their Roku app that got rid of that. So there is a officially released Roku side-loaded app called Plex Retro for the Roku. And if you've never side-loaded a Roku app before, it's very easy. There's a 4-letter code that you use, and you type in the code on your Roku or on the website, and it side-loads that app. So if you are somebody that uses Plex and needs the ability to use plugins specifically on your Roku device, they have set up this officially released by Plex. This isn't a third party, and they're calling it Retro Plex Retro. And their reasoning is that they saw that they took away this feature, and it really kind of screwed a lot of people.
So somebody came with the setup.
Yeah, well, there
Yep.
was a lot of
Makes
third-party, a lot of plugins in the store, and they just kind of overnight, right around Christmas time, updated their Roku app. And the solution that people were having was, well, block Roku's update servers from your router so that you never get the new version, and it just created a real mess.
Mhm.
And to the point where people were switching to another media server. I don't remember what the name of it was. Emby, yes. Another media server, because they had plugins that that they needed to use, or that
Mhm.
they'd become accustomed to use, and Plex just kind of wiped all that away. So who knows how long this is actually going to last? They say it's temporary, but I believe once an app is on your Roku, it stays on your Roku. I could be wrong, but Roku auto updates. So I've already blocked the update servers on my router, so that even if they try to get rid of the app, they will not. Hopefully, won't be able to. So it's called Plex. Plex Retro. If you just do a Google search for Plex Retro Roku, you'll find the app or
Okay.
the edition, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean
Wait.
the plugins going away is a tough issue, but I think they're going to leave the plugins in. What they are going to do away is the marketplace where you can search and manage, and they found that it's just a hog of resources on their side, but very little use. But there is a very live third-party like side-loaded plugin world out there, and I think they're not going to block it.
Yeah, I mean that would be it would be a very smart move by them to not block all that stuff. And
Yeah.
they've talked about getting rid of their app store, which is fine. But the way of them doing it is what people have a problem with.
Well, I think
You can get rid of your marketplace, that's one thing, but then to block the use when you allowed side loading, it's not like it's a complicated task to sideload apps on the Roku or on Plex. Sideload these plugins from the marketplace. Very trivial.
Yep.
So that's what kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
All right, Spence, are you ready for the specials?
I believe I am.
All right.
And Amnon, I mentioned earlier about a product that didn't use fishing but flushing.
Right.
That's the eye crapper. Got it.
Okay.
I think it's useful, but the only problem is you can't. It's really meant for people to stand up in front of to get to see the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be an issue. And Nick, you made it to the home screen of the new microwave computer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you see what Nick did last week for the specials? Did you see the
No,
specials?
I didn't look.
Oh, come on.
I didn't look. I will look.
Oh, no.
How are you going to look? They're
It's
gone.
It's not there anymore.
Why?
Amnon can
'Cause
only
it's
have
always
a file with one name, or his server doesn't work.
There's no library. It is
No, of course.
No, for
Well,
what?
not
I mean,
really,
there's
it's not really
specials.
useful. That's true. It's not really useful. But
Oh, shoot.
she must have it in an email, right?
It was.
I'll forward it to you, Spence. Of course,
All
I
right,
still.
yeah, I'd like to see it. Okay. So Computers 2K Now specials for February 19th, 2019. Starting with laptops at Best Buy, we have a 15.6-inch HP Ryzen 5 for $449. That's $130 off. Office Depot has an HP Pavilion 15.6-inch i7 for $599. That's $200 off. And Staples has a 15.6-inch i5 HP for $429, which is $200 off. Best Buy has a 23.8-inch touchscreen all-in-one AMD Ryzen 5 desktop machine for $699, which is $120 off. You're looking for an entry. Well, Ryzen 3 would be considered higher than an entry level now. If you get the i3s for less than this, but a Ryzen 3 Lenovo Idea Center desktop for $379, that's $70 off at Office Depot. Staples has a HP Pavilion desktop i5 for $479. That's $150 off. Amnon, the HP machine that you had so much trouble, it was an HP or a Dell?
It was an HP.
HP, but it was not one of these silver cases, right? It was a black
It
case?
was it was a silver case, but it wasn't
Okay.
like this. It was a silver case that had a strip right in the middle that you press and it opens up where the
Okay.
CD. So I don't know, but it's the motherboard. It's not the case. So I don't know.
Oh no, I just was looking for recognition as far as I had no idea
Yeah.
what the model number was. I don't remember. What kind of processor was it?
i5.
i5. Okay.
I believe it. I don't remember. This
All right. But all right. So just say beware and check the ratings on the, as always. I always read the lowest ratings first. I don't trust the
Oh,
ones that are so
yeah.
glowing.
Yep.
Oh, this is the best machine I've ever had in my whole life. You know, it's
Yeah.
So, all right. Tablets. Best Buy has a Samsung Galaxy Tab 4, 10.1, 64 gig tablet, $549. That's 100 off. Office Depot has a Dell 11.6-inch convertible laptop touchscreen tablet for $299. That's 100 off. And the Amazon Fire HD tablet, 8-inch, for $59 at Staples. That's 20 off. Networking, we have at Best Buy the Aris Surfboard AC 1900 dual band router with 16x4 DOCSIS cable modem for $139. That's $20 off. Office Depot, this is not a sale item, but I found this searching through for network solutions. Didn't have a lot in the networking section today. So Western Digital MyCloud EX Ultra Network Storage Device, a NAS device. It's like the MyCloud, typical MyCloud, but you've got to put your own hard drives in this. So it's $159 for the enclosure. So you could build this out with some significant drives. The reviews I was reading about this, one guy was trying it out with two 6 terabyte drives running RAID 1. So good backup solution for the home if you're a tinkerer or a player and want to put something together on your own. Staples has a Netgear dual band wireless router with built-in NAS. Well, it's technically it's a NAS, but I wouldn't call it a NAS server because what it does is it gives you a USB port that you can plug in a external drive to and then share it over the network. I have several of these in the house. I have a couple of routers that have the share ports, and I do use them to share share USB drives over the network, and I use it very successfully. Not real fast, but good for if you want to back up pictures from somewhere or drag files over and just let it run in the background. $79, which is 10 off the regular price. Now this appears to be a good deal. This is at Best Buy. We've got a SanDisk 1 terabyte solid state drive for $129, which is $100 off the regular price. Office Depot has 32 gig USB 3.0 flash drives, $8.99 each, which is $16 off the regular price. And Staples has a Seagate 4 terabyte USB 3.0 hard drive for $89.99, 20 off. This would be a good candidate to plug into one of those.
Yep, I have one of those plugged into the router. Works great.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done a study on throughput, but effectively as a local, it'd be as fast as copying to another machine on your network, another computer. So maybe a little faster. If you're a gamer, Best Buy has a Corsair Pro wired USB optical gaming mouse for $49.99, which is $30 off. God, it would take me forever to learn how to use this.
Nick, is that
dude, the buttons are the greatest things in the world.
Oh, I believe it, but I'd have to program them all, and then
I've got 1, 2, and 3 on mine for Control C, Control V, Enter, so I can very quickly copy data from one place to another.
Yeah, I should set that up because I do a lot of cutting and pasting to set up the specials.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Office Depot has a Logitech. This is cheap. This is their one of their optical mouse. I don't even know what model it is. I think it's their entry level one, but they've got it for $12.99. Mouse and keyboard wireless combo, and that's $17 off the regular price. And Staples has one of their high-end optical wave keyboard and mouse combos for $44.99, which is $35 off the regular price.
It's amazing how they call it wave. They used to call it ergonomic.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, yeah. Well, I had a wave keyboard I used. It finally died. Literally wore it out, and I liked it. I don't know that it help my, relieve me of any repetitive motion injuries or not, but who knows. Best Buy has a Dell 27-inch monitor for $119. 27-inch. That's a good deal for $119.
Yeah.
70 off. A full HD, it says, FreeSync monitor. Office Depot has a 27-inch curved monitor for $199. That's $100 off the regular price. And we got a good entry-level deal over at Staples on a 23.8-inch Acer monitor for $79.99, which is 20 off. Printers and scanners, we've got an HP OfficeJet Pro 8710 on sale at Best Buy for $99.99. That's half price, $100 off.
Yeah, HP is probably offloading this. I literally bought one like 2 weeks ago in Costco for the same price.
Yeah. So yeah, there could be just the end of this model. They're getting ready for the next model.
Could be.
So
I'm pretty satisfied with it. It has one thing good about it. It has dual-sided scanning and dual-sided printing. So
oh wow, for $99, that's very
yeah,
good.
yeah, that's what caught my eye.
Yeah,
I'm not sold on the ink yet, but so I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do their subscription program or buy ink, but
no, but it's worth it just for the scanner.
Yeah.
Just drill holes in all the ink tanks and run little hoses to the outside and set up like IV bags with ink.
55-gallon drums.
Yeah, that's all. You'll be fine. This is when you get into Pro series of anything, it's supposed to have a higher duty cycle for more than just casual use like you get with an entry-level printer. So these are good printers. If this was at retail for $200, and for this price, it's a good machine, and I like the two-sided scanning is great.
Yeah,
it saves a lot of time. So, all right, Office Depot has an Epson Workforce DS40 portable document feed scanner for $119, which is 60 off. If you do any scanning when you're on the road and you have to take it with you to do things, I see this on a lot of desks at like medical offices and places that want to take information, like scan in your whatever. They have these at desks as convenience scanners, and I use it for scanning photos. And with IrfanView, which is a great photo organization program, free, it will do scanning, batch scanning, where you feed in the pieces and feed in the photos, and it will automatically assign file names in an order that you set, which is nice. Staples has a Brother entry-level laser monochrome printer for $89.99, 40 off. And this is actually a duplex wireless. Usually for when you get into the very cheapest Brother lasers, they're going to be USB connected and they're not going to be duplex. But this is the next step up. This is a great printer for $89.99. Home automation security, Best Buy has the Ring Wi-Fi doorbell for $99. You're seeing the older versions of the Ring doorbells now go on sale, and they're much cheaper out there. There are different form factors. I had a neighbor approach me about, they bought one of these. I think they bought the cheaper one, and it was so big it wouldn't fit into their against where their doorbell is now on the trim around their door. So I came up with an idea on how to get them to put it in there. But
so this is the old model?
I believe it's older based on the size. Some of the newer ones are smaller, or this could be just a cost-reduced version. I'm not sure.
Well, I was looking at it because the price is good. So there's 3 types of rings. This is, I think, the original, and then they have a Ring 2, and then they have a Ring Pro, and the Ring Pro is the slimmer one. Yeah. So
definitely, and they did not buy that one. I know that based on the size specs that I saw.
Yeah. So this seems to be 720p. And not 180p like the 2 and Pro. So just keep that in mind. But the price is good. I have a Skybell, and I want to replace it with Ring because of its compatibility with Alexa. So it's interesting.
I like the idea that Ring has created that neighborhood application. So if you have
Ooh.
neighbors, you can actually monitor each other's
There
doorbells.
There was
Or
a
you get it-
real. There was a. We'll get to it. I'll write it down. Keep going.
Okay. Was there an issue with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Forget what I said.
No.
Uh,
No. Keep going.
Okay. Office Depot has TP-Link dimming smart bulbs on sale for $19.99. It's 5 off. And Staples has TP-Link smart Wi-Fi outlets, 2 plug outlets. This is a single outlet, a single device with a plug on either end, both of them independently controlled, for $29.99. Save $5. Does not require a hub direct connection via Wi-Fi, but that does chew up resources and requires an app on your phone. Okay. But wait, there's more. Staples has Mike Phillips personally endorsed USB 2.0 flash drives, Phillips drives, for $9.99, 32 gig. And I understand that Mike will personally come to your home and install it for you. He's not saying anything. Is he still here?
Yeah.
He is, but this is Phillips.
I had to come up with a reason to put
No,
Mike's
but this is
picture in
Phillips with
the
one
specials.
L.
Oh, I know, but it's still it sounds right, doesn't it? To the casual user, you would think it was him. All right, Staples has an Amazon Fire Cube with Alexa for $79.99, which is $40 off the regular price. Office Depot has a Brother P-Touch label maker for $14.99, save $20. Just great devices. Yep. Some of them use a little more tape than I like. I did figure out how to shorten in the software to set up the printer so that it doesn't have so much lead tape before it will print. But these are just great things to have around, and the flexibility they have in the tape now, and they are the leader in the market, Brother, with this stuff.
Well, the trick is to just make one long line with a few spaces in it.
Yep. Oh yeah, So if you know what you're going to print, do them all at once, and you just cut them with a scissor. Yeah, I do the same thing.
Planning.
I just want to mention something about the Amazon Fire TV Cube. So we're talking about the Ring, right? And the reason I want to change it is because one thing you can do with the Amazon Fire TV is there's the small microphone button, but the Fire TV is also an Alexa speaker. So it also listens to you. So you can say, Alexa, show me the front door. And if you named your Ring front door, it'll just pop up on the TV, the view from the Ring.
Oh, right. I like that.
And that's one thing that Skybell that I have doesn't do, and Ring does. And another thing that Ring does is when there's movement or somebody presses the button, you can configure which, Alexa will say there's somebody at the front door.
Yeah. And will they do Amazon facial recognition and tell you who it is?
Not yet. Maybe later. It'll tell you, don't open. Don't open the door. Guy.
Yeah, this guy's been, he's a known perpetrator.
Yeah. A 50 cal on the side of the porch.
Here we go. This is for you, Amnon. Actually, it's for you to buy from me, if you wouldn't mind. Is Mavic just is out there. They are really almost they're really a prosumer as far as drones go. They have great features. You can get a good Mavic one down in the $600 and $700 range drone, but they are just really well made, thoughtful features and so on. But Best Buy does have the Mavic DJI quadcopter for $1,187.99, $62 off. And Best Buy has an Apple iPad 32 gig for $279, which is 50 off. And the Ring 2 doorbell for $169 if you're looking to upgrade from the Ring 1 at Office Depot for $169, save $30. This is an interesting product that I just know somebody who bought it and told me about it. It's the Bose Home Smart Speaker 500 with Alexa built in. And if you're a fan of Bose speakers, the quality is very good for the size. And you get the added attraction of having Alexa built in. I don't know what the screen does, but looks like a slick product, but it is expensive. It's $399. And finally, this is an interesting product. I know they had experimented for a while with projection keyboards for portable use, but this is a wireless glass keyboard. I'm not really sure what the benefit of it is. There's no tactile feel to it. There's no, unless they build in an audible click or something when you're typing. But an interesting device, 149. I should have put in there where I saw it was available, but if you do a search on it, you probably find it. And finally, at Fry's, now this is where we have to get Mike's opinion of what Samson. What is the opinion of Samson mixers? This seems to be a pretty good price with the promo code.
Mike
the
doesn't like them.
119. What?
Crap.
Mike
Are they
doesn't.
crap? All right, so if you're interested in buying a crappy mixer, this is for you. But I like the form factor is what attracted me when I saw it. So,
And let me be fair. I haven't used one of these in probably a couple of years. Problem was they had a lot of white noise in them. They were hissy, and they may very well have cleaned them up. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just every time I see these mixers, as much as I detest it, I always send people back to Behringer, because for podcasting, they've got features that can't be built. For other applications, this is probably fine.
yeah. What I liked about this was the form factor and the fact that it had USB and had 4 Phantom preamps. So just was pretty nice. Okay. Asus dual band wireless router with promo code is $34.99. So an AC 1200 router, wireless router for $34.99 is a great price. So, but you do have to sign up for the promo code. So go to the website to find out how to do that. Got a couple of Cyber Power battery backup systems on sale, 450 VA for $36. We have a 950 VA for $79. Cobra HD dash cam. The prices of these are pretty stable right now. It's not like they dropped a lot recently, but the features that you get with this are pretty amazing. This has got a GPS location tagging for the video, as well as live police locations. I don't know how they do. What radio did they use to do that? That's interesting. It is a refurb, $59, but you can get it for $39.99 with a promo code.
Oh, this is a great price, especially for the GPS location.
Yes, it's pretty amazing.
Those usually go for 90 plus, the cheaper ones, and this looks like a good one. Cobra is usually not that cheap.
Yep. I've got a 1x2 HDMI splitter for $19.99. You might be able to find something a little cheaper on Amazon. Sometimes you need this. I have a couple of these, and they do come in handy. HB extension cables, just essentially what you call a straight through, just to give you that extra distance for a USB connected device. $4.99, which is $3 off the regular price. And finally, I sat there and I drooled over these next two items, and they're both from Logitech. It's the X52 and X52 Pro flight control system joysticks and throttle, which are used, of course, for gaming and flying flight simulators. But God, they're incredible. Tactile feedback, things like that are just amazing. And I wish I could. I don't fly on simulators anymore. I used to do it. I actually got a lot of instrument flying skills just from using Microsoft Flight Simulator. I did have a yoke and rudder pedals and all that stuff to use, but I just taught myself instrument flying, or got familiar, I should say, with instrument flying in order to get my my license.
The Pro simulates G-force?
Yeah. Yeah, it simulates nausea too.
Yeah.
Positive and negative G's. But that's it. Computers 2K Now specials for February 17th, 2019.
Thank you, Spence.
You're welcome.
Thank
And,
you.
The banana phones, Amnon,
yeah,
they're ordered. You'll be getting them soon.
Okay.
The only problem is that they turn brown after a week.
They spoil, yeah. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. So you were talking about the Ring and Neighborhood, that app.
Yeah.
I don't have it here, but it was for last week, but the title of it was that they penned neighbor against neighbor.
Oh.
And neighbors started to show what other neighbors are doing that they don't like. And it was just, I mean, it was blowing things way out of proportion. So yeah, in principle, it's a nice thing, but a lot of people are using it the wrong way.
So I take it it's not just their doorbell cameras that they're sharing.
Right. Well, I don't know what they should. There were a lot of things that I mean, you want to come out and get your paper and you're in your undies and somebody's, come on.
I don't understand why somebody would want to do that.
Well, they're doing it, and they're doing it a lot, and there were a lot of complaints about it. And now that everybody knows that these things are being recorded somewhere in the cloud, somewhere forever, it's a problem.
It does make for fun commercials, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, somebody in the Skype group last week wrote Privacydotcom.
Oh, that was me. Yeah. Yeah. So what were we talking about where this came up?
We were talking about paying for
online services.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you are somebody that doesn't feel comfortable using debit cards or credit cards online because you're afraid that these companies are going to steal your information, there's a couple things. First of all, the companies most of the time aren't doing, almost none of the time are doing the transaction themselves. It's being handled by Stripe or PayPal or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that. But nevertheless, if you're still not gung-ho about putting your debit or credit card on Spotify or Netflix, or maybe a site with some illegal content, maybe that's what you're trying to do. There's a service out here that I've known about for a while. I've never used it, but it's called Privacydotcom. And what they do is they generate credit card numbers, essentially, virtual credit card numbers.
Temporary.
And and you can put limits on these cards. For example, you can have a Netflix credit card in air quotes, that's got a limit of $12 a month. Any transactions over $12 a month will get declined. So if Netflix were to get compromised, first of all, it wouldn't be your actual credit card number or anything like that, but it would also it would decline a charge based on the limit. So if you do a whole bunch of online shopping at odd websites, maybe this could be an option.
I like it. What's the name of it again?
Privacy.com. I've never used it. I've seen it. They sponsor a lot of YouTube content that I've watched. So that's where I've seen them.
It's almost like doesn't Apple Pay use the same idea where they generate a new card for a new number for each transaction? Do they still do that?
I'm not sure how I've been using a lot of Apple Pay. I'll tell you what, it's awesome.
Yeah, I have it set up, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on using it yet because I never remember.
Spence, they don't generate a new number every time.
They don't.
I don't think so. I think
I seem to remember something about that when they first introduced it as being.
No, I'm not talking about Apple. I'm talking about Privacy.com. It's almost like they're giving you another credit card just for that.
Yeah, but they limit the use of it for specific vendors.
You limit the use of it.
Yeah. No, I mean they do it for you. Somehow.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they all get paid by maybe one credit card that you
put your debit card on Privacy.com, and now you can especially if you're buying like things off of AliExpress or
even if you do something on a regular basis, recurring every month from
So yeah, it could be cut. Plus, there's a whole bunch of like with project boards and whatnot, things for the Raspberry Pi. There's a whole bunch of people that sell these things by themselves. They sell them on their own websites. And I could see you being a little hesitant to give, you know,
Right.
your credit card to this, you know, I call it random project that you're interested in checking out.
Well,
So
I had a credit card compromised, I believe, from a shopping site, and it looked legitimate. There was an actual product that I tried to order, and it was advertised in a way that made me think it was legitimate. It was a small drone,
Yep.
and I ordered this thing and got the just email tracking information, all this stuff, and within 5 days of buying that. Not even 5 days, 2 or 3 days later, I get an alert from my credit card company saying that my card was compromised because somebody tried to buy gas in New York and they knew it was bogus and I had to get a new card.
yeah, so that would have been a great example
Right.
of use for this. Yeah, I think they charge a couple bucks a month for the service.
It says
then-
free because
Yeah.
they make their money from interchange.
Yeah, that's what I
fees.
was reading.
Maybe they've
So I wonder
recently
what
changed that.
your credit card company thinks of this being charged by another credit card company.
Yeah. I think the free thing might be new because for a while it was a paid for service.
There's
Yeah,
an
I was
asterisk
I
that
was
says,
I was
like
reading
credit
and
card companies, we make money from interchange paid by merchants.
just like
So
any
does
other.
that?
Yeah.
The question is, your credit card. When you they charge your credit card for the purchase. Does that interchange free apply to your credit card, or are
Correct.
they losing out somehow?
No, because they're still charging. It's still a transaction between Privacydotcom.
So how do they
and
make
your-
money if they've got to pay a fee coming in and going out?
I think there's a lot of there's a lot of levels that we don't even interact with.
Oh, I'm
right?
sure
We
they have
go to the store.
discounts.
No, I mean, when you go to the store and you swipe the card, the store themselves, they don't manage the system that charges you.
Right.
Oh no, I realize.
So there's an intermediary. So I think they're just taking a chunk of the intermediary process. If they can afford it, I mean, if they can make a profit on it, great. let's see.
Now that it's free, I'll have to go and check
It's a
it
great
out.
idea, and I don't
Yeah.
see why not legitimate, but mainstream credit cards don't offer the same service.
So
They used to, I think. Like something called a Visa Express. I think it's similar, no?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what that is.
Nevertheless, this is would you want to use it for every service? Probably not. I think using it for Netflix and Spotify, big companies like that might be a little overboard, but like Spence said, kind of not a shady, but a third party website that you're buying something off of. This could be a really cool. And you just said, if you're buying a $150 drone, you put $155 or $160 limit on this card.
Right.
Yeah.
And any charges over that will automatically get declined. So,
And you'll be able to, based on that, you'll know who leaked the card number.
absolutely. If you only use one per site.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So next time I buy from Lumpy's Auto Parts, I'll use this.
There you go.
If credit card companies really wanted to fix this problem, they'd make it easy to do.
Yep. Do they get to write off losses from fraud?
Probably.
Yeah.
But
Well,
nobody ever loses money for the sake of a write-off. I don't care what they tell you. Why would you lose $1 million so you can write off 200,000?
Yeah. This transaction I was talking about that went bad, I actually contested it because eventually, even though I kept getting updated emails saying that product was going to ship, it was delayed. And finally I said, cancel. I don't want it. It's too long. I don't want it anymore. Oh, no, we have it in the queue. That I kept getting emails. I was talking to somebody in support. And that made me think that it was also a scam. But supposedly other people had happy experiences with it. It was a whole shopping environment. Could have been completely fake. But I did eventually contest it. And then the credit card company comes back and says, oh, no, the merchant verified that it's a legitimate transaction. And I said, but I'm not contesting that. I'm contesting that I never got the product. So it took me literally 3 months to get the credit applied.
Jesus.
So
That's effective.
annoying.
Yeah. Well, check this out. I mean, I've never used it firsthand, but it seems like kind of an interesting concept. So
I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh, I just registered. I'll tell you if I'll get to use it this week.
give it a try.
I got some sites, Gal, you can test it on for me.
Oh, here's that article.
Hey, that's blocked on my. It
That's
says
what?
the site Spencer.
Here's the thing about the Apple thing. It says a new variant of the multi-stage Schleyer malware known to target macOS users has been observed in the wild. Doesn't that sound familiar? You know, it's been observed by in the wild. Now being capable to escalate privileges using a 2-year-old technique and to disable the gatekeeper protection mechanism to run unsigned second stage payloads. It's just Apple. Apple. Sorry, Mike. I got to say it again. Apple owners heed the warning. Now here's something that's just kind of interesting. Allstate, one of the largest insurance companies in the United States, just made a curious purchase. Through its subsidiary Square Trade, the insurance giant bought iCracked, one of the largest independent smartphone repair companies in the country. The acquisition means that Allstate has become one of the most powerful proponents of right to repair legislation in the United States. According to Gay Gordon Brine, executive director of Repair.org, which is pushing the legislation, the company has already loaned a lobbyist to the effort in New Hampshire. So, apparently, there's a lot of lobbyists, a lot of companies that don't want the right to repair.
Apple doesn't.
Right.
I mean, they don't want you to repair your stuff.
Yeah. So that's interesting that Allstate is getting into that. And I didn't know that Allstate owns Square Trade.
I guess that makes sense, right? Insurance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And another hacker who stole close to 620 million user records from 16 websites has stolen another 127 million records from 8 more websites. That's from TechCrunch. The hacker whose listing was the previously disclosed data for about $20,000 in Bitcoin on the dark web marketplace stole the data last year from several major sites. Some that had already been disclosed, like more than 151 million records from MyFitnessPal, 25 million records from Animoto. But then there are several other hacked sites on the marketplace listing didn't know or hadn't disclosed yet. 18 million records from travel booking site Lexigo. Live video streaming site YouNow. It
really?
40 million records stolen. Houzz, Houzz, which recently disclosed a data breach, is listed with 57 million records stolen. GE.TT had 1.8 stolen. 450,000 records from cryptocurrency site CoinMama. Roll20, a gaming site. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I have my credit card on Roll20.
Yeah, it had 4 million records listed. Stronghold Kingdoms, a multiplayer online game, had 5 million records listed. And then 1 million record from pet care delivery service PetFlow. So all these, I mean, we don't hear on the news about them. So it's very, very interesting. I mean, and they know it's the same hacker. Why they leave him in business? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you mentioned cryptocurrency, and Mike,
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you what's going on here with Chase and JP Morgan.
Mike? If you're talking, you're muted. Is he?
My printer was printing. I couldn't unmute.
Oh.
The JP Morgan thing's nothing. They're creating their own cryptocurrency. A lot of the banks are trying to do that. And if you want to go with a high risk possibility, go for it. It's not decentralized, so I don't know why you'd waste your time.
Can you describe it a little bit more? What they're doing, why they're doing
They're
it?
just creating their own coin.
Okay, so it's going to be like Bitcoin. It'll be JP Morgan Chase coin,
Correct.
something
Chase
similar.
coin or JP coin or something like that. I mean,
Okay.
there's thousands of them out there.
Now, you said it's high risk. It's even though a big institution is behind it, you don't think it's any less risk than Bitcoin or Litecoin or any of these other currencies?
There's no such thing as less risk than Bitcoin.
Why is
Bitcoin
that?
has survived every attack that's ever been hoisted against it. If Bitcoin is not secure, no other coin is secure.
Correct, but like for example, there was talks of the Venezuelan government at a point in time blocking or banning the use of cryptocurrency in that country.
Venezuela created their own.
They did, but there was a talk. They did, but they still were talking about banning Bitcoin or Litecoin or one of those big coins.
They can do that all they want to. So let's suppose that you've got taxes you want to pay in Venezuela, and all you use is Bitcoin. You got to convert it to cash and send them the cash. I mean, that's nothing. That's no big deal. But the whole system, Bitcoin is the ultimate system, the ultimate cryptocurrency system. If the people often get confused between exchanges and the actual currency. You find out this exchange went down, or the guy up in Canada who died supposedly, and the password was lost. So $140 million lost. Well, that's a centralized exchange. That is not the cryptocurrency. If he had been holding on to raw diamonds, the result would have been the same. That doesn't mean that there's a problem with the diamonds. It's the way that they were managed. If you want to make sure that you don't have a problem, instead of trusting these exchanges, you get one of these, which is called a Trezor. It's a USB key with all sorts of built-in crap and all in it. I mean, it's an expensive solution. But once you have your cryptocurrency, and this only stores so many like Litecoin, Bitcoin, it would not support the JP Morgan coin. But once you have one of these, then you can tell all the exchanges to go take a hike because your Bitcoin is right here, or whatever your cryptocurrency is.
And that would be known as an offline wallet. What do they call it? Dark wallet, dead wallet?
Well, it's cold storage.
Yeah, cold wallet. There you go. That's what they call it. Yes, that would be a cold wallet.
And Mike, is that the only place that it's stored at that point?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's either here or it's not.
So you have 2 or 3 of them just to be on the safe side?
If I had diamonds stored at a safe at your house and I went and got them and put them in my safe, where are they?
Yeah. Okay.
These look like they're pretty inexpensive here, Mike. $50. That's a pretty good price.
That's on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
A guy bought one from Amazon that came with a piece of paper in it that showed what his 24-word access code was.
Oh, interesting.
The guy had already, somebody at notice those aren't sold by Amazon. They're sold by resellers.
It's sold by, oh, you're right.
I guess they're doing whatever
SQ deals. Interesting.
They're doing whatever the people used to do when they would go to stands of gift cards and get the numbers and then try them.
SQ deal. Interesting. Huh. That's actually genius on that in that regard. That's a great scam to pull.
Yeah, but they'd already opened it and printed out the 24-word so that somebody else had access to whoever stored anything on that wallet.
That is genius. Now, they have access, but they have to own the physical. They still have to have access to the physical wallet, no?
No. You can get access with just that 24-word code.
Gotcha. So where'd you order yours? From their website?
I ordered mine from the factory in Czech Republic.
Okay.
Trezor.io. Trezor.io.
Do you remember offhand how much it was?
Altogether, it was about $125 because it was like $25 worth of freight.
Hmm.
I'm on their site. There's 2 models. I don't know what the difference is. One is 70 euros. The other is 150 euros. And as Mike said, shipping it from Europe will cost another probably $25.
22 euro. But the main thing is you have to make sure that the one that you buy is compatible with whatever cryptocurrency you're using.
Oh yeah, I see. 500 cryptocurrencies they're working with. Yeah. Well, it's basically a password manager, right? If
I have no
understand correctly.
idea. That'd be the kind of question I would ask you.
No, from what I'm seeing, it's like this managed vault, right? Encrypted vault. It has some automation to do with and it has like hardware encryption built into it. Yeah, interesting concept. I'm a software guy, so whenever it comes to hardware, I'm hesitant. But it'll be interesting hearing your experience with this.
The question, Nick, you asked about, you still have to have the USB key if you've got the passphrase. And I don't think that I've not used it yet. Mine's unopened. I haven't used it yet. And the reason I think that you don't have to have it is because supposedly if you've got that 24-bit, it's not 24-bit, it's 24-word passcode, you can retrieve your cryptocurrency. So as in if you lose this or if it stops working. So I'm assuming you don't have to have it. I haven't used it. I'm not sure.
And that exchange that Mike is talking about, that the owner died and took the passwords to the grave with him.
Supposedly.
Yeah, there's a story about this. Says that Tang Zhao was not a stereotypical crypto bro bent on accumulating flashy trophies such as Lamborghinis when he deposited his life savings into Quadriga CX's digital exchange. The 30-year-old software engineer who's been working in California for 7 years just wanted to save a few bucks on transfer fees after deciding to move to Vancouver. It proved to be a $560,000 Canadian mistake. That's $422. It says, it's all my savings, so I'm just living on what little I have left and trying to start over. Said on a phone interview Friday from Vancouver, where he has been living out of an Airbnb for the past month. It pretty much took everything away from me. He's one of Quadriga's 115,000 clients who are out of luck after the sudden death of the firm's founder left 190 Canadian million dollars in cryptocurrencies protected by his passwords unretrievable. The exchange has halted operation and was granted protection from creditors on February 5th in Nova Scotia Supreme Court in Halifax. I guess, Mike, what you were saying, it may not be the case that maybe they'll be able to get it back. Good morning. Hello. Okay. Are you saying that there may be? Maybe this time. Hello.
So I just need to tell you guys about my little story. I was masturbating to lesbian porn, and
Boy, you sure seem to fall for these trolls.
Are you saying, Mike? Are you saying
this guy died? Right.
What?
I mean, it's gone. If the exchange if the password is not recoverable, right?
But I don't know if they think that maybe they'll be able to bring it back or whatever. And I don't understand why the court would grant them protection from creditors. Why would they?
I'm not understanding what's the story there.
The guy who runs that exchange,
right,
died.
Yeah, I understand that.
and nobody has the passwords. So the money, it's like you put your money in the bank somewhere that nobody knows, and you die, and
No, it's
nobody.
like you put your money in the bank and then the people lose the key to the door.
Right. So you break the key. It's just going to take time.
Well, that's what they're hoping.
Yeah.
I understand that right now people are in trouble. And
Right.
yeah, that's terrible. I'm not saying it's not. It's just I'm trying to understand what exactly was lost. I mean, the exchange can't activate without a single key that can be turned. So it's just a bad design.
Well, it's not a bad design. It's the design of the whole thing by the whole cryptocurrency thing by itself. I mean, there is a master password, or there's a 24 letter or word phrase that the exchange, or the essentially the bank is stored under. And if you lose or don't have access to that code, it's unretrievable, from what I understand. At least at this point in time, it's unretrievable. That's how I understand it. But I mean, I would ask Mike to elaborate more on it. But
Mike,
I
didn't hear the question.
What exactly happened there? So I understand the founder died, and some master password to the exchange has been lost because that wasn't written anywhere, or nobody knows where if it was.
Right. The guy who owned the exchange didn't tell anybody what his password is.
Why would that matter? I mean, the exchange shouldn't be able to run without human interaction.
I mean, I don't know the intimacy of all of the operations of the exchange. Maybe who knows? But that would sort of suggest some theories that this is not real.
Yeah, it's something doesn't add up. I understand somebody dying, missing a very key, crucial piece of information. It's going to time to retrieve it, or it's going to take a lot of time to figure it out, or crack it. The story doesn't add up. Something it's like there's no detail about why that password is so important. What exactly? If I with cryptocurrency, with a wallet, right? With the cryptocurrency wallet, it's a set of it's an identity descriptor, right? And to get to it, it's encrypted in a certain way that you can open it by and when you use an exchange like that, you put your faith in the exchange to manage those key pairs for you, a public key and a private key. And I understand that losing a single private key like that will lose access to an account. But the entire exchange, it's not like the exchange held the money, and whenever I wanted to pull something, somebody needed to punch in a password for me to take it. We're talking about an automated system, so something doesn't add up.
But it's on the internet.
Right. On the internet just means it's on a server somewhere and it's running.
No, I mean, but we read it on the internet. It has to be true.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to understand. What we read on the internet, how it adds up to the reality. I know I'm a party pooper like that, but sorry.
Well,
what happens is it's a password that if he didn't type it in every day at midnight, then all the funds would transfer into his offshore account.
Probably. I mean, I'm trying to read an article here on bbc.com. I'm expecting it to be intelligible, and all I see is nothing.
Round and round in circles.
You're a hater. Why don't you research it and report back next week?
All right. Anything else?
Just have the question. Spence, you mentioned you're using View to scan.
Yes.
document. So my question is about, like, I somehow find myself when I'm scanning a document, I find myself I'm wasting too much time and too much effort. Certain things that bother me. So I was wondering what you guys do. So you said you use Irfan View in what way?
You set up a batch scan, and it will. And after it's been a while since I did it, but you go in and you create it. Basically, you stay. I want the file name to be like home, and then 21, and every increment that number
yeah.
by one every time you're scanning a new file.
It's like you getting a checkbook and you say, I want it to start with 99999.
Yeah, and you go from there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, usually, I mean, so.
But that's not what this program is made for.
I know what Irfan View is for. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It just happened to have. I stumbled across this when I was looking for a way to scan in hundreds of old pictures.
Right.
And it was an easy way. Now the file names are not going to identify individual pictures, but at least you'll have a way.
But wait a second. It could, because what you can do is you can stack your pictures on the table according to, like, this is the trip to Panama. And then you tell it, okay, start with Panama 2019 1. And as you put it in
1998, probably.
Whatever.
You're not going to say, this is grandpa, this is my brother, but it's.
No, not on each. No, I see.
No,
what
and
you
that's
mean.
not
No.
what the purpose
Right.
of it was. It was just so I could have a folder and all those files with a timestamp and make it easy for me to find.
Okay. So my next question, that's great, because you mentioned photos. That means you will probably need to go back and crop everything at once and disque things.
The nice part about the scanner is the scanner crops automatically.
Oh, okay. So you trust
that's a feature of the scanner. Let me see if I have it. Well, it's not out of the box right now, but it will scan. It will crop automatically. It's a roll feed, individual sheet feed. You push it in, and it'll get to a.
Okay. So it knows where the edges is.
Right. Well, it has a limit switch that stops it from going in, and then it will trigger the. And I can't remember if I have to. I don't remember the exact procedure I did, but it was certainly easier than trying to go through and to save each file as it's scanned, and it pops up a dialog box that says save file as. It's just, you skip all that stuff. That's what the nice part about it is.
Okay.
So
one thing my search has brought me to is an application called Scan Tailor, but it deals with the files after they've been scanned. So I was looking for.
Irfan View does the same thing. You can use that to organize and rename by batches and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not a very easy program to use. It's very cryptic. Have you used it?
Irfan View, yeah, I hate its interface, but
it's not very good.
Yeah. I usually, my default viewer used to be XN View, but it's not free for commercial purpose. So let's say on my work laptop, I can't put it. I can, but it's like it's not legal. So I stopped using it. Irfan View solves that for me. Scan Tailor, just in case somebody is looking for something like this, it's an interesting application because you give it a set of files that from scanners, and even if it's a TIFF file that can have multiple images within it, or a set of TIFF files that are separate, or JPEGs, it gets all the photos in, and it has like 6 steps. It fixes orientations. It lets you split the pages if it's from a 2-page scanning. It does automatic desqueuing of the image. It's great for text. and then it allows you to select the content within the page you've scanned, so it crops it based on the crop. And each step of that, it has automatic processing and it has manual override, so you can control that. And at the end, it gives you a set of images. It was created for scanning books and manuals and stuff like that. And I find myself all the all the legal stuff and all the stuff comes via mail that I just want to shred, but I want to keep. I use that. It's still a chore, and I'm looking for a better way. But it's
Yeah,
a free
I don't think
software you can check out.
I don't think OpenView is the easy way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's useful. It's good if you like. It's been around a long time, and it's good if you have a bunch of pictures you want to try to organize and make sense of that you have never organized before. The thumbnail viewer and all that stuff to help you try to figure out. There's a lot of new things. This is back in the older Windows days. Now the photo software that's built into Windows 10 is very good, and it's much simplifies the process of trying to organize stuff. Not the easiest way to rename files, but yeah, this is an ongoing project I've been meaning to get back to now for years. I have boxes of old photos. I did 2 generations so far and posted them on Facebook, and it took me, I don't know, 8 hours or more to scan all these photos.
All right. Well, it's that time again. So, thanks, Spence, Nick, Mike, Gal. That was good. Good conversation. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Tonight at 7, Nick Craig hosts Against the Norm. You're doing it, right, Nick? He's not
mute.
And Mike, you're doing the crypto culture show. It's going on tonight.
Yeah, it's a repeat.
All right. Both on Wilmington Big Talker 106.7 FM. You can listen on TuneIn, and to find the link, it's under the links on the left in the menu. See you next week, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.